Sammy and the Sock Gnome. Every night, Sammy would go to bed with a pair of socks on his feet. But every morning, one of his socks would be missing. Sammy searched high and low, but he could never find the missing socks. He wondered where they could be going. One night, determined to solve the mystery, Sammy stayed awake and pretended to be asleep. As the clock struck midnight, he saw a tiny figure sneaking into his room. It was a little gnome, no taller than a teacup, with a pointy hat and a twinkling smile. The gnome picked up one of Sammy's socks and tiptoed out of the room. Sammy quietly followed him, curious to see where the gnome was going. The gnome led Sammy to a hidden door in the wall. They went through the door and down a winding staircase that led to a cozy underground world. The walls were lined with shelves full of colorful socks, and the air was filled with the gentle sound of snoring. "Hello, Sammy," said the gnome. "I'm Norman the Sock Gnome. I collect lonely socks to knit magical quilts for dream travelers." Sammy looked around in amazement. "Magical quilts?" he asked. Norman nodded and showed Sammy a beautiful quilt made of patchwork socks. "These quilts help dream travelers have the most wonderful dreams. Each sock adds a bit of magic." Norman invited Sammy to help him knit a new quilt. Sammy picked out some of his favorite socks and watched as Norman's nimble fingers worked quickly. The quilt grew bigger and more colorful with each stitch. As they worked, Norman told Sammy stories about the dream travelers who used the quilts. There were children who flew on dragons, swam with mermaids, and danced on clouds. Sammy felt a warm glow in his heart, knowing that his socks were part of something so magical. When the quilt was finished, Norman thanked Sammy for his help. "Now it's time for you to go back to bed," he said. "But remember, you can always visit us in the world of patchwork dreams." Sammy followed Norman back up the staircase and into his room. He snuggled under his blankets, feeling happy and content. From that night on, Sammy didn't mind losing a sock or two, knowing they were being used to create magical quilts for dream travelers.